The psychedelic renaissance is about to bloom. Let's have a look at what RFK Jr., the new Secretary of Health of the US, says on X. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, a bunch of other things, but also simple and even free things like clean foods, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. Of course, pharma with capital P. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. One, preserve your records, and two, pack your bags. I mean, wow. Just wow. So we are picking it up from where Timothy Leary left it.
Turn on, tune in, and drop out.
But hopefully this time with a more conscious and upward aim, roughly speaking.
So I had Timothy Leary's old job at Harvard.
That comes with a lot of weight.
Yeah, and I knew some of the people that knew him. Leary in particular made a huge mistake when he said tune in, turn on, and drop out. He should have said tune in, turn on, and grow up. I'm dead serious about that because there's a different form of responsibility that emerges, and if the use of transformative technologies like psychedelics isn't accompanied by that framework of enhanced responsibility, then it can degenerate into a kind of hedonistic chaos.
Right.
And that's what the Nixon types were reacting to. They were terrified by it. And they had the reasons to be terrified because, as you're intimating, these technologies are unbelievably potent and destabilizing. Now, that destabilization can be used for let's say for better or for worse.
Right.
And it should be used for better. That's complex. It's a very complex thing to manage. And so you can imagine, things get so constrained that everybody's exactly the same, and that's a complete totalitarian catastrophe. But you can imagine the opposite catastrophe, which is that, well, everyone's letting it all hang out and doing their own thing, and that's equally dangerous.
Right.
And so there's some balance in the middle. Well, that's that balance between chaos and order that we were referring to earlier.
Now listen to Jordan Peterson as he clarifies what is required of us if you want to have a different outcome this time around.
It's also an ignorance of the structure that's involved in maintaining a society.
Definitely.
That you need discipline and people need to work to maintain the society that you enjoy, to be so free and to be a hippie.
Well, you can imagine that complex social order can be maintained by something like mindless obedience.
Right.
But that's suboptimal. What you'd really want is enlightened responsibility.
Right.
Now,
right. That's a great way to put it.
Right. That's a very hard thing to pull off, though, because it means that you have to leap out of the box of social constraint, and you have to take the responsibility onto yourself. Now, that's a hell of a lot better if you can manage it, but that is definitely not what Kesey or Leary, for example, were preaching to the masses.
Is like an admirable thing that people just should aspire to.
It's the best possible. Okay,
yes, the highest goal.
Let me give you another example of this, if you don't mind. I'm going to use another biblical story.
While you were biblicaling, the lights are flickering behind you, almost like God is interacting with us. There's spirits in the room, Jamie. Have you noticed the light flickering? You haven't noticed it? Keep an eye on it.
Hopefully they're the right spirits.
Well, I think they always are.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully they're the right spirits, and hopefully RFK Jr. and the intellectual powerhouse around him can help us get it right this time. And now I'll leave you to Terence McKenna, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.
Psychedelics are illegal not because a loving government is concerned that you may jump out of a third-story window. Psychedelics are illegal because they dissolve opinion structures and culturally laid down models of behavior and information processing. They open you up to the possibility that everything you know is wrong.
It's going out.
It's one of my tricks, man.
I'm telling you, dude, it's never happened before. This is wild.